hotly and continues to be a hotly debated topic, especially in the Senate, the Trans-Pacific Partnership International Trade Agreement known as TPP. It has been on the minds of so many voters. How would you vote? What would you do if elected to the Senate involved in TPP?
Let me start by saying that I believe in free trade. I believe in free trade between countries because when money and goods are crossing borders, troops do not. I believe it is important for the United States to partner with those small countries in Asia which are standing in the shadow of the Chinese tiger. It is important that the United States lead economically, and this is a way to do that. I would vote for TPP with one caveat. We don't know what TPP is yet. We know what the president and the politicians have agreed to, but again, like those alphabet agencies, there are other actors in this play. As we sit here today, no, maybe not. In China, it's much different time zone than we are, but daily, hundreds of bankers, industrialists, and other important people get together and decide what TPP really is and what the politicians are really promising and what they are really going to do. If TPP winds up a tool for international bankers and for industrialists and folks who have profited at our expense, then no, I wouldn't support TPP. But a clean TPP that allows us to trade with those who wish to trade with us, I'm all for that.
Mr. Eldridge, how do you see TPP?
I will vote against it. I've been adamantly opposed to it in this campaign. I'm for free trade. I think it must be fair trade. That standard is the baseline standard I would approach any trade agreement with. This deal is not a fair deal for American workers, I don't believe. And I think the reasons for that are that in this country, we have gone to the negotiating table and we've given away too much in the form of lowering tariffs to other countries, in this situation, Asian countries, who do not have the same standards for workers that we have. So I'm opposed to TPP. I think it would result in job loss in our country, and I just think we've got to have a stronger backbone for American workers. And when you go to, as we have featured in our ad recently, or in our ad that will be seen coming up, when you go to the Superior plant in Rogers, near where Senator Boozman lives, when you go to the Whirlpool plant in Fort Smith, when you go to shuttered plants, I was by one the other day in Woodruff County, then this is really comes home how this affects Arkansans. Currency manipulation is a problem also in this agreement. Prescription drug prices are a problem, and we don't have time to go into all the issues with it. I think it's a bad deal. I vote against it.
Mr. Gilbert, your 1 minute rebuttal.
I don't think Connor and I are far apart. I believe he is initially opposed to it because that's what his supporters expected. His statement shows that he would be open to free trade, as am I. I trust the American people and the American world. I believe if the cards are dealt cleanly and if the playground is fair, that the American worker can compete against anyone. We don't have to have salaries reduced by tenfold to compete. We are ingenious. We are productive on a scale that no people have been in the history of mankind. If government will leave us alone, stay out of our business, and stop protecting us from boogeymen like all those foreign workers, we'll do just fine.
Mr. Eldridge.
You know, again, support free trade if it's fair. This deal's not fair. But as an example of a free trade agreement that I agree with and something I would support, I fully support opening up trade with Cuba and would work to open up lines in the financial community to enable that, which is sort of where we are with that issue now. You know, my test for any trade agreement, which is why I'm against this deal, is that I would go visit with Arkansas workers. And, you know, if as a senator, I couldn't look workers in Arkansas in the eye and say, you know what, this is a good deal for you, then I'd vote against it. And this deal, when you look Arkansas workers in the eye and you look at shutter plants in Fort Smith and Rogers and elsewhere across this state, it drives home the point that this is not a good deal, and that's why I'm against it.